So I figured, okay, so I figured by this point, I've gone over some vocabulary with the tefillot, and I picked out from the first paragraph of the Shema, which is usually referred to as the Ahafta. They teach it in the Hebrew school, as I said, with the melody, da 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 da, but really it's done Ahafta, and it's with the trope. So I gave you I picked out from that 8 different shorashim. Shorashim are roots, and Hebrew is built on roots. They are mostly 3 letters, and those letters have to be in the same position 1, 2, and 3, the letters in that. And from that, you can form a lot of other words. And so I thought about it, and I picked out a couple other words and see if you could recognize them. But anyway, I will give the answers to the quiz. So the first one, A, it was bless. Which of the Hebrew words, the root is bless? And so you just have 3-letter roots. Sylvia, did you find that?
Baruch.
Yeah,
Baruch. And so Baruch, Bet, Resh, final Chaf, is the root. That's not a word. It's the root gives you like the guts of it. It gives you the basic meaning, something to do with bless. It doesn't say, I bless, I blessed, I will bless. Can you think of a word that has those 3 letters in that same position, which is related to bless?
Bracha.
Bracha, which means
Baruch.
Baruch Hu, bless.
Baruch.
Okay, the call. Okay, so you have Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed, and you have Baruch Hu, which means it's a command, bless, it's a plural command, and you have the noun bracha, which is blessing, all built from the same root, Baruch, okay? So the answer was 2, Baruch. How about the next one? Go, which one is go? Da 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 da.
I thought maybe 5.
6.
Nope.
6. 6.
6. Lech.
6.
In the Torah, there's a Torah portion, Lech Lecha, and it's translated as go forth. And then in the Friday night, there's Lechu, Niranana, Niranana, Ladonai. And Lechu is a command, and it means go, Lechu. Lechu Niranana, go and rejoice, or come and rejoice. But so Lechu, all right? And Lech is go. So the answer was 6. Okay, so here, what's the root for here? Da 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 dum da da dum.
Shema.
1.
Okay, now here's a tough question. This is for those who are know-it-alls. What Hebrew name? You might guess this. What Hebrew name of one of our forefathers means, and God heard?
Shmuel.
Right. Shmu is here, God here. It's like a petition. Shmuel, right? Right.
Down.
Samuel, the prophet Samuel. Very good. So that was 1, Shema. Nice job. Okay, now we have the word love. Sometimes I've signed some of my emails with love, platonically. All right, love of a friend. Sylvia? Yeah.
That's 3. Ahava,
3,
which is
Ahava.
also the name of an Israeli cosmetic company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a Hebrew name, Ahuva. That's an Israeli name, like beloved. And Ahava, when you sign B'Ahava, it means with love. With Ahava. B'Ahava, love. Right? That's love. Okay. And the next one says tie. Not a cravat, but tying. You know, like tying the tefillin. So one of these is the root.
Number 7, is that right?
Number 7, Robin wins the Cupid doll. So kasher, ukashartam, and tie them, al yadecha. And a word, it's interesting. When you say to telephone, you say the verb is lahit kasher. Ani mitkasheret. Ani hitkasharti. I telephone. There's also the talfen, but that's Hebrew word. It means to connect to. So when you're telephoning someone, ani mitkasheret. And so kasher. And it's not to do with kosher because that's
I was going to say
letter.
that. Does that have any relationship? My grandmother would kasher the chickens.
No, kasher would be with a kaf.
Okay.
This is a cook.
Okay.
Kasher. I told you about my story with basar kasher, kosher meat, and I thought it meant kosher butcher on that when I was a kid. Okay, basar is meat, kasher. It doesn't mean butcher. Okay, so kesher. And the word kesher, if I say I'm trying to find a relationship between the Shema and some other prayer in English, kesher, it means a connection. And when you make a telephone connection, the hit kasher, to connect yourself. So they have kesher. Okay, and that was number 7. Good. The next one is the verb speak. And this is all over the Torah. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, or Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe, or V'dabru ha b'nei Yisrael. Okay, so 4. Okay, so daber, and another word for the 10 commandments is aseret hadibrot, the 10 speakings, the 10 spoken words of God. So if you say, somebody says, Eser, the 10, Eser is 10, Eser hadibrot, the 10 commandments. All right. So daber, lidaber, to speak. And it's all over the Torah. And this one spoke to this one, vayidaber, and he spoke. Okay. And so G, we have the verb write, to write. Write these words in the mezuzah and in the tefillin. What's the verb for write?
Iparon is pen, right?
Right, but these are all verbs. These are all.
I know, I just can't remember that.
Number 8.
Iparon is a pencil. 8 is a pen. 8. Iparon's a pencil. Okay, so write is the word. Katav. I think there's a publishing company called Katav because they write things. And a word, an address is a ketovet. And you have the, let me see.
Why is address related to writing?
I don't know. But ketovet is an address, something you would write maybe on an envelope. Let me see. A katava is an article, katava. And what do you call the marriage certificate?
Ketubah.
Ketubah. Thank you. Charlene's got it. Ketubah, something which is written in Aramaic, but it's written ketubah. So we have a lot of words related to katav. Lichtov is the verb. Ani kotevet be'ivrit. I write in Hebrew. Katavti, I wrote.
How do you say
Lichtov,
I write in Hebrew?
Ani kotevet. Kotevet. Ani kotevet be'ivrit. V'gam ba'anglit. V'gam b'sfardit. V'tzorpatit.
V'gam be'espanol.
V'gam be'espanol. That's Sepharadit. Sepharadit and Sephartit. Sephartit is French. Okay, and so the last one, which one? A very important one, which is the last one here. Command.
Number 5.
Number 5, tzav. And that's also the command. Tzav, tzav et b'nei Yisrael. Command the children of Israel. And what word is related to tzav?
Mitzvot.
What is a good act?
Mitzvah.
A mitzvah. Mitzvah, mitzvot. And
how do you say I command you to do something? If you're bossy.
Ani mitzvah. Ani mitzvah. Mitzvah.
So I should tell my mother, ani mitzvah.
Yeah, I think it's said with a mem. Ani mitzvah. I command.
Mitzvah.
Mitzvah. I don't think it's tzava. I think it's mitzvah. So a mitzvah, mitzvot. Okay, mitzvah is 1. Mitzvot is 2. Commands. Okay, and so you have a lot in the Torah. Tzav, the command. Tzav et b'nei Yisrael. Command the children of Israel. Okay, so those are really pretty important. So now let's see, this is a repeat. We've done this. So Kriyat Shema, if you have the paper in front of you, means the reading of the Shema. So my question is, who is being addressed? Kriyat Shema. Shema, the way it stands, is a command. Hear. So first of all, what's the difference between hear and listen? What's the difference between hear and listen? Is that a trick question? No, it is not.
Hear is to hear the words, and listen is to understand the words.
Well, but you don't always understand them when you hear them. You can
attempt to understand them.
Yeah. Okay. But okay, we could say it in another way.
Here is just I wrote.
Okay. So you're saying that when I hear you, like if you're talking and I'm talking to my husband in the distance and I'm looking at my notes, I may hear your voice. That's a physical thing. I'm hearing you. But listen is with understanding. But so they use the word Shema, hear, and hopefully understand. Who's being addressed? Is a command. Shema Yisrael. Who is Yisrael?
God. Or all the Jewish people.
Yeah,
okay. So Yisrael, like B'nai Yisrael, a lot of times they say Yisrael in the Torah, or B'nai, sons of Israel, children of Israel. Okay. Shema Yisrael. Hear Israel, Israelites. Okay. Not just one person, not just Jacob, one person, but hear Israelites. Hear all of Israel. Adonai, we know that. Eloheinu, our God. Adonai Echad. Why doesn't it say, hear, O Israel, God, Adonai Elohim, God, Elohai, my God. What do you think is the strength of Eloheinu, our God?
It's community.
Right, which is so important in this last Torah Parsha, Kitei Say, that's coming up tomorrow. Kitei Say, there's a ton of rules, and a lot of them have to do with people's rights in the community and community building. How does a community respond if they can't find the killer? So they measure the distance between two places and they kill a calf. So they said, like, okay, retribution, we have retribution. Someone has been found that make the family happy that the killer hasn't been found, but we did kill someone symbolically. It's kind of crazy. But it's a lot about rules of, if you find a lost item, then you are obligated to give it back. If you see your neighbor and he has a hard time with his donkey, he's pulling his donkey, you're supposed to help him. If he dropped something, you have to help him. There's a lot of things about how we have to work in tandem, how we have to work as a community. So community is important. When we lose somebody, we need 10 people to say the Yizkor prayer. We work together in a community. 10 people is a minyan. You can't have prayers and say Baruch Hu without a minyan, 10 people. And whether it's 10 men or 10 women or men and women, it's a minyan, however you believe. So that's a building block of community. So here, Israel, all you guys, the Lord, our God, the Lord is one. So the plurality is the community and God is one. Then it's this statement. A lot of people, if they feel their airplane is going down and they don't know too much in the way of prayer, they might just say the Shema. Maybe they know that from the bedtime Shema when they were kids, or they heard that. So everybody knows this, right? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. It's a statement of monotheism. We don't have a trinity, we have a unity, and that unity is Hashem. One name, one person, one being, okay? Then it says, you say this quietly, except on, it says recite quietly, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the holy name, Shem Kavod, of the King, God,
And why is it quiet?
forever.
Why is the tradition that it's quiet?
I don't know, but you know when the only time is when you say it out loud?
Yom
There's only
Kippur.
one. Right?
So
Right at the
in the
very
hospital,
end.
in the hospital, the chaplain gave me a brochure. I accepted a brochure, and it had the reason for the Baruch Shem Kavod being quiet. And it had something to do, I probably have it in my backpack. It had something to do with Moshe and the angels. I don't know if it's really true.
Is that a midrash?
Yes.
Must be midrash.
Yes. I
I'm
haven't
not
bounced it
familiar
off
with
my
it.
Chabad friends who know everything.
That's really nice. Yeah, that's great. So then we get to the first word, Ahafta, and you can see the aleph, the hey, and the vet. And there we begin with the first root, love. Okay, Ahafta et reyecha kamo as yourself. I forget the last word, but love your neighbor as yourself, right? Ahafta et reyecha is your neighbor, like yourself. You should love your neighbor like, in other words, do unto others as you would have them do to you. But in actually the Jewish version is, do not do to your neighbor that which you do not want him to do to you. It's said in a negative. And one of the philosophies on that is that there's fewer things to remember of the don't do's than the do's. If you concentrate on what you shouldn't do, everything else is cool. It's like, all right, but it's in a negative. Don't do to your neighbor that which is abhorrent to you. That's the Jewish way of doing it.
You know, that's interesting because that's also the Buddhist way of doing it.
Oh, really?
Another Eastern faith, it says you shouldn't do what you don't want done to yourself, as opposed to you should do.
They got it from us.
They did.
We were there first before.
Yeah.
And Christianity says, love your neighbor as yourself. But the original was don't do to your neighbor. Okay. And then tomorrow's Torah portion is chock full of all kinds of things of how we help each other. There's a thing that says if a man married and didn't have time to be with his wife for a year, the bridal year, he's exempt from army service. Now, there's so many times when they take a census to find out how many people are available for service, but a man who just married and hasn't consummated that, he's exempt. There's also a line that says, he who is afraid to serve should not serve, because he makes everybody else spooked and scared, and that spreads. And so there's laws about gleaning, about payat and leket, leaving the corners for the ger, the stranger, and the widow, and the orphan, hayatom v'ha'almana. So if you read the portion for tomorrow, you'll say, oh, these are so interesting, all the laws, right? It's really, really fascinating. It's got a lot of great stuff. So the beginning is Ahafta et. You don't translate et. That word comes before direct objects. Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha. See that little line after levavcha? That's a comma. That is not a trope sign. That is just a plain old comma. Okay, so let's just say that. All right, I'll say it after me. Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha. So that's the word. Can you recognize levavcha? What's lev? Heart, with all your heart. When they talk about the heart of Jerusalem, the center, they call it Lev Yerushalayim, geographically, the heart of Jerusalem, like the downtown area, Lev Yerushalayim. Okay, b'chol levavcha. Okay, Sue, would you just say that part from Ahafta? Say it slowly so everybody can hear it.
Okay,
and
can you hear me?
If you want to chant it, you can chant it.
Oh, wow. Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha Uvechol meodecha. Did I do this?
Uvechol nafshecha.
Uvechol. I'm sorry. I got
Decha.
stage fright. I got stage
Okay,
fright.
no stage fright. Come on. So she said, Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha. That's as far as we got.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Charlene, would you like to say that just up to the comma?
Sure. I'm just doing it from memory because I haven't found the written part yet. The Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha.
Keep going.
You want me to continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
B'chol.
Yeah, I don't have anything in front of me.
Oh,
Okay.
I just memorized it because I haven't found it in the Shalom Aleichem stuff.
Oh, well, I sent it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's also it's in your Siddur also, if you have a Siddur.
Yeah, I know, but it's not right in front of me.
Okay. B'chol, with all your heart. B'chol live.
It's on page 49 of Shalom Ale.
Oh, thank you.
Sure, 49.
Oh, great. Okay, go back and
I
look at it,
appreciate that.
Charlene.
Thank you.
Is that the whole
Okay.
thing, Esther?
That's
There
what
it
I
is,
got
yeah.
in front of me
Yeah.
too. Most of
Okay.
it.
No, it is. No, it is. It is because I printed it out from
It
there.
didn't have
Okay,
the very
good.
first line that you were talking about, but all the rest is here.
Good, good. Okay, so Ahafta et Adonai
Adonai
Elohecha.
Elohecha. B'kol levavecha.
Nope, look it carefully. You have levavecha later, but
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha. B'kol levavecha. No.
levav, close. Lechol, lechol, levavcha. It's not levavecha. And they're similar, but this is levavcha, b'chol levavcha, b'chol levavcha. Okay, someone else. Esther, do that from Ahafta.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavcha uvkol nafshecha.
Wait. Uvechol. Okay,
where do
yeah, that's good. Nafshecha. We do going a little further. Okay, Elaine, do that.
Ve'ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol
Levavcha.
lavavcha.
Okay, good. Alice is on. Alice.
Those vowels are so small.
Yeah. Okay, do that up to levavcha.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha.
Great. Okay, so then we continue. Uvichol. So vichol means with all your heart. Things that end with cha means your. So you should love the Ahafta. It's a command. Et, you don't translate. Adonai Elohecha. Then you see the cha, the Lord your God. With all, vichol levavcha, with all your heart. Okay, then it goes uvechol nafshecha. What part of you is your nefesh? Anybody know what's your nefesh?
The
Soul.
Soul.
So then it continues. And Helene, hi. Uvechol nafshecha. Again, did you see that cha? Uvechol nafshecha, and all your soul, your nefesh. So love God with all your heart and with all your soul. Okay, good. So uvechol nafshecha. So Helene.
Yes.
Hannah, why don't you do the whole first line?
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uvchol nafshecha.
Okay, up to that point. Can you do that with the trope? Ahafta, do you know that?
Yeah, a little bit. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha ובכל נפשך.
Okay, good. Okay, right. So when you know the melody and you're trying to read it, it really does help a lot. You've heard it a lot, now put the words to the tune and that will be successful. Okay, so second line says, Uvechol me'odecha, and with all your, what does me'odecha mean? Anybody?
Is that like Tov Meod?
No,
Strength?
that means, that me'od means, well, that means very. Tov is good. Tov me'od is very, very good, me'od. But here, me'odecha means your strength. Okay, so we should love the Lord our God with all our heart and all our soul and all our strength. Okay, how can you love God with all your strength?
I think
By
more like
doing
your
mitzvot.
energy.
Okay, you can do something actively, right?
Right.
You
Doing
can
mitzvot.
actually, you're not just thinking, you know, praying and meditating and thinking, but now it's the active. And you know, this is the Shema, the first paragraph of 3 paragraphs, the Ahafta. Remember, the third one actually talks about tying on a strap on your arm so that you will remember the mitzvot. So this is all, to say it, tied in together, the idea of thought, you know, intellectualism, and then standing up for your beliefs. I would translate it in a modern idiom like that. Standing up, you know, rallying, writing, just speaking out and not being afraid with all your strength. It doesn't mean go punch people in the face if they disagree with you, or like you might like to, but you don't. Okay, then the Haiyu hadivarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavcha. So, and will be the Haiyu, the things, these things, and these things will be these things that asher anochi mitzavcha, that I, anochi is like ani, in the 10 Commandments, anochi, Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeti me'eretz Mitzrayim, I, anochi, mitzavcha. What do I do? What's the command? What's the root there? Mitzavcha.
Mitzvah.
There, I, it's a verb. I
Command.
make a verb. I command. Okay, so to answer Sue, mitzavcha is I command you. So there is a mem in front of it. So mitzaveh, mitzavah would be a feminine saying. Ani mitzavah, I command.
So is that a man's command? Mitzavcha?
No, this is mitzavcha. This means I command you.
So it doesn't, the gender doesn't matter.
Well,
I mean,
depends. Here it's speaking to a male. Mitzavcha means I'm commanding you.
Okay,
but if
so
you want to
wanna
say I command, you'd say ani mitzavah.
Mitzavah.
That would be you saying it. I command. A man would say ani mitzaveh.
Oh, okay.
That's a verb, mitzvah. So
why isn't that mitzvavucha? Wow.
no. Okay. Mitzavcha. Okay. It's not. It's tricky the way it looks. So the mem has a shva. The tzadi has the mitzav, and that's the end of the syllable. It has a shva. It's in grammar when they do that, when they put a dagesh in the middle, it just means it's pronounced like a double, like mitzavcha. Okay, we don't say it like that.
How do we not know that that's the vav with the?
We don't. We just have to learn this.
Like the
we just have to learn this by seeing it. Mitzavcha. It's pronounced mitzavcha because the shva is the vowel for the vav. The letter vav has underneath it a shva.
Oh, okay.
The dot in the middle is just to exaggerate.
I saw the dot in the middle, and I thought that
it's like the word Haggadah. So Haggadah, I don't know. I don't say it, but it's supposed to have the force of saying it twice. It's exaggerated. Mitzavcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Shalom Aleichem version, there is no dagesh in the middle.
Probably because he didn't want to confuse you.
Yeah.
Yes, Aline.
A quick question about what was asked before. When God is commanding us, just use the masculine form of the command? Or
Well, the you here, it's
the way we use a universal he.
Yeah.
Or,
So mitzavcha, all of these that say you on the end, the cha, it's a masculine ending, right? And he's talking to Bnei Yisrael. He's talking to Yisraelim, the Ivrim, the Hebrews, as a masculine group.
It's
just
talking
like
to the sons of Israel because this is ancient Judaism.
But really, Bnei Israel includes the daughters too. The
right,
people of Israel.
right.
Yeah.
Children of, yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the women's movement, we could leave this alone just because we still use the universal we or
like
he
mankind.
or mankind, right.
Yeah, but this was the protocol. This is where they use it. Good question. And now here's a question though. It's to go back to, and you will love Ahafta, you will love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words that I command you. Okay, so we have two verbs here, love and command. You are being commanded to love God. Does that seem strange to you? That can you be commanded to do something of the heart and soul? It says you shall love.
Of the religion, yeah.
Well,
you gotta work at it.
And it's a commandment. Not only that, and I command you.
I'm ordering you.
So it's kind of strange. Okay, I name it Mitzavcha Hayom. And look, the next part says, I command you today, Hayom, al levavecha, upon your heart. I command this love in your heart. That's pretty heady stuff. Ella. Yes. So yeah, it's always been a little problematic, that part, you know, to think about like, I'm being commanded to do something. I'm being commanded to love. A little bit weird, but there it is. Let's see, did I get everybody? Ella? Okay, good. So let's go over the Hebrew. And all right. So it said, Haiyu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha. Ella, you want to read that?
Oh.
The second line from the third word, Haiyu.
Haiyu hadvarim ela. Is that correct?
Yeah, very good.
Asher ani.
There's a dot above the nun.
Ani.
Oh, my head. Ano.
Anochi.
Good.
Mitzvah.
Mitzavcha. And we said that the dot, forget about the dot in the middle of the vav because it's just confusing.
Yeah,
the vowel is really the shva. Mitzav. That's the end of the syllable.
Mitzavcha.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Alice, want to say that line?
Okay. Starting with Haiyu or?
Yes. I'm fine. How are you?
Of Mayo? No, I don't know what that.
Yeah, Tov Ma'od. It's young.
My head.
Beseder means okay. Beseder Gamor means completely okay.
What is Tov Mayod?
Means very good.
Oh, okay. Answered. It just came to my head.
Great.
Okay. Haiyu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha.
Very good. Okay, Sivya, you want to do that?
Haiyu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha. I got the last one wrong.
Very good. And we'll take
I usually
one more
try and
person.
chant it.
Charlene.
Okay. Haiyu hadvarim ha'ele asher anucha.
Look at the vowels. What's the dot? If I put my hand on your head and I press down, you're going to say, oh, my head.
Anocha.
I know.
Anochi.
Good.
Mitzavka.
Very good. Okay. So now I'm going to ask Robin, will you start with the Ahafta and get up to Mitzavcha Hayom Aluvavecha? Go up to that. Start with the Ahafta and go to the third word in the third line.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavka hayom al levavecha.
She's ready to learn trope. There you go. She's going to learn trope. All right. I have a Torah reading tomorrow, and I think I got it down. I've been working on it all week. I think I'm good. Okay. So then we continue. Vishinantam, and that means repeat it, because shnaya means two. Repeat it, vishinantam, repeat them. These words, we're talking about the words to love God with all your heart and with all your strength, with all your might. These words, to love God, Ahafta, we're referring to those. Vishinantam, and repeat those words, Levanecha, to your children. Even though it looks, the cha in the end is your, but banim are children. It's like in Spanish or whatever, you know, yeladim in Hebrew is boys and girls. Okay, so banim is not just boys, but it's children, it's boys and girls. So vishinantam, levanecha, repeat this about loving God, this commandment, to your children. This is like the basis of Jewish education. How come it's so important? Ledor vador, generation to generation, we repeat our customs. Why are we still here? Maybe because of Pesach, it's a family holiday. It's embedded in our DNA, in our psyches, that just Passover for a week. And Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Vishinantam levanecha. And repeat this to your children. V'dibarta, there's daber, and speak, speak about this commandment. V'shivtecha, when you're on your way, when you're going. Sitting. V'shivtecha shev, when you're sitting. B'veitecha, in your house. Uvelechtecha, there's the verb lech, and when you're going. Vaderech, on the road, when you're going someplace. Uveshachpecha, when you go to sleep, when you shluf yigayin. Uvekumecha, and when you get up. So they have the Shema that children learn before they go to bed, and when you get up in the morning, and you have the morning prayer, do the morning minyan, shacharit. So when you're on your way, when you're going someplace, you know, I told you once before, on Route 17, going in New York, going up to the mountains, there's a wall on the side of a building where men would stop and they would say whatever prayer, a shacharit prayer. They would gather for minyan. They would say mincha or mariv. They would always, you'd always see a bunch of religious men. Yeah.
Why there?
Because that was midway. That was up to the Berkshires. Up to the Jewish Catskills, up to the Catskills. So people would be going up. Men would go up on the weekend. My dad used to come up on the weekends, and we would have a bungalow in a bungalow colony. And the men, that was a halfway point from the city up to Monticello and Fallsburg and those places up in the mountains in the Catskills. So they would stop halfway, get a refreshment, and then continue on to their children, to their wives and children.
And the women stopped playing mahjong just then.
I guess so. So repeat after me, everybody. Vishinantam.
Where are you?
I'm on the third line, the fourth word.
Okay.
Vishinantam. Levanecha. Vidibarta. Bam. V'shivtecha.
Vishinantam.
Next line. Beveitecha.
Beveitecha.
You see the word bite? It means house. It means in your house. Come on in my house. My house. Come on. Beveitecha. Uvlechtecha.
Uvlechtecha.
And you see lech there. Uvlechtecha, going and going.
Mhm.
Vaderech.
Vaderech.
Va means on the. Derech is the road. When you're going someplace, you're in an airplane and it's time for prayers. They get up in the middle of the aisle in El Al and they daven. I've seen that. Uv shochbecha.
Uvshachbecha.
Okay, so why we're not saying uv shochbecha is because you see that it's darker, the kamatz under the shin. It's showing you that is awe. Uv shochbecha. Uv shochbecha. So it's an or instead of an ah. It's an exception. Uv kumecha. Uv kumecha. So listen, it goes like this. I'll say it again, the whole thing. Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha. Shachbecha is again when you're going to bed and when you get up. So religious families have the children say the Shema, the bedtime Shema it's called. Shema Yisrael and this before they go to bed. Okay, vishinantam. Let's see. Sue, how about, can you do this? Are you in a position to do this?
Yes. What am I doing?
Vishinantam.
How far do you want me to go this time?
Up to the next double diamond, up to the end of the pasuk.
Can I just say it?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Vishinantam levanecha, right?
Yes.
V'dibarta bam. B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshachbecha.
Shach, make it a
Shochbecha. I knew that didn't sound right. Uvshachbecha uvkumecha.
Lovely. Very
It's hard
nice.
to sing it starting in the middle. I think I'm like, who is that? Well, I don't know, Nana. I don't know what her name really is, but yes, you were like me. I think you have to start at the beginning to sing it. You know, if you have to start in the middle, you can't do it. It's like your social security number.
Yeah. All right, so let me see. Esther, can you start with Vishinantam?
Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech
If it's bigger and darker, it means it's awe. It's a exemption there. Uvshachbecha.
Uvshachbecha uvkumecha.
Okay. Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha. There you go.
Now you're just showing off.
Yeah. All right. Now is the tying. You see the root kasher, the kuf, the shin, and the resh, and tying them. And this is a reference, of course, to the tefillin. Ukashartam laot al yadecha the Haiyu letotafot, and there'll be a symbol. This is the one that's on your head. Bein einecha, between your eyes. So tie them as a sign. Ukashartam laot al yadecha. Tie them on your arm as a sign. Ot is a sign. Tie them as a sign on your hand. So It's on your bicep, really. This is where you put it and where the knot goes. And there will be the Haiyu Latotafot, and there will be a symbol, Bain, between your eyes. And so you have one on your hand, Tefillin Shel Yad and Tefillin Shel Rosh. Okay? The one you have on your hand, then you wind it 7 times, and then on the finger 3 times, and the one on the head, you just put it on, and there's a blessing for that. Okay. So where are we? Over left. There. Okay, Ukashartam. Okay, Divya, can you read that line
from
Ukashartam up to Einecha, up to your eyes?
Ukashartam leot al yadecha
Haiyu.
Haiyu.
Remember this. Hey, it's open. See, there's a little.
I'm used to chanting this, and that's part of the problem.
I'm going to have
reading.
I'm going to have those who can chant it.
Yeah, and starting at the beginning, because going in the middle, it's kind of daunting.
Yeah.
Bechayu latotafot bain a necha.
Good, Robin. Same line. Ukshartam.
Ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot ben anecha.
Tell your rabbi that he better watch out because you're coming up strong.
Yeah, she's my idol. She really is.
All right. Now, Charlene, the second line from the bottom, start with Ukashartam, please.
I'm reading a different copy than you.
It's the next to last line. Can you see like the Ukashartam towards the end? Can you find it?
Okay.
Good.
Ukashartam. Note.
The oat. Aleph is silent. Le. Oat.
Le oat. Al. Yadecha. V'hayu letoto.
Toto is in the Wizard of Oz. Fot.
Letotafot.
Yes.
Bain Einecha.
Very nice. Okay. Helene? Chana?
Chana, right. Zayn appeal. Oh, there. Uchshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha.
Beautiful. Now we have on the last line, katav, which is write, and write them. Those same words, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. We're referring to those words, which you have in Tefillin and you have on your mezuzah. You have the Shema and the mezuzah. Okay, Uchtavtam al mezuzot. Remember, mezuzah is one, mezuzot is more than one. Your house may have a mezuzah on the door. If it does, it's on the top third, on the right-hand side as you enter. And it's not a superstitious thing. It's just a marker that this is a Jewish home because inside the mezuzah is a Shema. Okay, this marks a Jewish home. And it really tells us you put it on the gates because I guess in ancient times they had a gate, put it on the gate. But in my house, I have a nice one, an Israeli one on the first third down. I have them on all the significant rooms, not in the bathroom. And you don't pray in the bathroom and you don't bring your prayer books in the bathroom or a chumash because that's not supposed to do.
I pray in the bathroom.
Depends what you're praying for. All right. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. So, and write them on on the mezuzahs, which is the casing or the parchment, the cloth. Beitecha, write them in the mezuzahs on your house and on your gate. So they say house and gate. Okay, and when you do it, fix that if it's a new house and whatever. There is, and to a room, there is a blessing that you put on the mezuzah. So now, are there some of you who could chant the whole thing?
Can I ask you a question about, this
Yeah.
is probably basic, but I don't remember it.
Go ahead.
Uvtatam. Why does one T have a dot in the middle and one doesn't?
Okay, that's the same reason as the other. Sometimes those dots, they are not vowels that you pronounce. It just shows that that letter or that word that letter should be exaggerated. It's nothing to do with pronunciation. Okay. That's why we didn't say anything in the beginning, and probably in the Shalom Aleichem book, like someone said, they don't have that. They're just confused. So it's uchtav tam, and write them al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Now in the bet, that dot shows it's a b and not a v, and with the shin and the sin,
and a p
and the pay and the
F.
Right.
P and an F is the same way.
But there's no, that doesn't change. Okay.
Or P and a V.
All right. So is there somebody who would like to chant this? Maybe a duo or a trio or a quartet? Whoever knows it.
Why don't we do it as a group?
As a group.
I mean, I did it this morning. I practiced it this morning, but I get
Sue Grossman is volunteering. I think so. Do it.
Go ahead, Sue. Go for it.
Go ahead, Sue.
Join me.
Okay, we'll join you. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
One,
join
2,
her.
3. Ahafta.
Wait. Go slowly.
Wait, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think we should be muted and say it ourselves silently.
Good idea.
You can't do it on Zoom.
Otherwise, there's a
Cacophony.
Like a fugue.
No, if we're muted, we can't hear the tune. I think we need to practice the way we do in the synagogue.
Excuse me, I've got a mom.
If you're muted, it means they can't hear you, but you can hear everybody else.
Right. You're going to hear Sue.
You're going to hear Lou and do it along with her.
My mom
Sue.
on the edge of the bed. We're celebrating. Oh, you look much better. Wow.
Go Sue.
Okay.
Take it, Sue.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'eleh. Sorry. Asher anochi mitzavcha hayom alevavecha vishinantam bam levanecha v'dibarta bam.
Guys, somebody's got to mute the crowd.
I can't mute the crowd. I think someone else should do it. I'm sorry.
Right.
Oh no, is the crowd
so
where you
joy
are?
in this room.
So what are you celebrating?
Go ahead. I didn't realize.
On the edge of the bed. She had pancreatitis on July 31st. This is so much progress.
Good.
Is that where I left off?
Yeah.
Ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uchtav tam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
Mitsuyan. Okay. Somebody else want to have a crack at it?
What'd you say?
Somebody else? Wonderful.
Oh.
Mitsuyan. And yeah, Marty Mitsuyan. Okay. Anybody else want to try it? Robin, did you want to try the whole thing?
I don't think I can get the tune for the whole thing. I'll try.
Go ahead. That's what I want to hear.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'ayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anoki mitzavka hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivatecha bevetecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshobecha uvkumecha ukshartem leot al avdecha v'hayu letotafot ben anecha uchtavtem al mezuzot v'techa uvisharecha.
See, that's not so scary. I'm sure you've done this many, many times in the synagogue, but you shouldn't be afraid, because even if you make small mistakes, nobody cares, nobody knows. The only time it makes a difference is if you're reading Torah, and like tomorrow, I'm going to be one of the gabbis up there next to the Torah, and it's up to me and the other gabbai to correct the reading. The only thing you don't go back on if you say God's name, unless you said Yihye instead of, Adonai, but you don't go back and repeat God's name in the phrase. Great. See that? You can do this. Look at this whole thing. Beautiful. Who else? Helene?
I'll give it a
Hannah?
shot. Hannah? Okay, go.
Hannah, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Go ahead. Start with the
Ahafta.
Ahafta. Let's see.
Okay.
This is your final exam.
את אדוני אלוהיך וכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך. Now this I've never heard the Shaw business. וכשוב
Dochbecha.
Oops.
Ukumecha.
Ushartam leot al yadecha v'hayu la totafot b'nei en uchtav tam al mizuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
Right. Anybody else? Sylvia, did you want to do it?
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'll
Go
give it a
ahead.
shot.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't
You know,
be
it's hard to
scared.
follow Hannah with her beautiful voice and my croaking, but we'll do
Doesn't
it.
matter. Anyone's voice, it matters their willingness.
Ahafta et Adonai Elo. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha ub'chol nafshecha ub'chol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha benetecha Benetecha.
Bevetecha.
Bevetecha. Uvlechtecha bederech uvshach becha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yodecha
Yadecha.
Haiyu letotafot bein al necha enecha uchtavtam al mizazot betecha uvisharecha.
Wow, see that we've graduated from syllables, from vowels and letters to syllables to words to tefillot. Amazing. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Anybody? Any? Let's
Alice,
see. Ella,
Alice.
did you want to try it, Ella?
Alice is raising her hand.
Alice, not Ella.
Alice. Oh, Alice. Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, Alice, hit it.
Ahafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'dibarta bam V'shivtecha let's see
It's a little bevetecha.
Oh, bevetecha uchlechtecha baderech uvshach. Oh, that's one. Uvchol. Wait. Uvshach. Uvshach. Be.
Good. Uvshach becha.
Becha.
Got it.
Uvkumecha. Ukshartam Laot al yadecha. I'm just saying.
Come on, you're almost home. Let's go the final stretch.
Haiyu letotafot bein einecha let me see. Tam al mezuzot beitecha. Uvisharecha.
Yay!
Say their ears bleed when I sing.
No.
Me
But,
too.
I mean, we've
Me
come,
too.
you know, they say you've come a long way, baby. All of you from just nothing, you know, from very.
From not knowing an olive from a bait.
I mean, literally, I mean, it's fantastic. It's really a tremendous. I can see that, you know, the growth. And it's even if you're not sure about a word, don't let that undermine your confidence of how much you know and you've learned. Then it's a matter of learning the melodies. And then once you've heard these words a lot, like I can do this because I've heard it a lot of times. I've taught it, you know, for years. So it doesn't come right away.
You sort of hear the tune in your head and it kind of carries you along.
Yeah,
exactly.
Word, but you just kind of get carried along and you know that the next one is Al Mezuzot, you know, and you
yeah. And that's how you do a Torah reading once you learn the trope. So anybody else want to try it? It's about 12 after. Did anyone else want to try it?
Just a quick comment. It seems like the third and fourth lines we all had trouble with. The first were not bad, and we finished strong, but the middle couple lines.
Because there's words that you're not familiar with.
Yeah,
I don't know where I've seen the word.
I think we must stop paying attention when they're doing it. We hear the beginning and we
all right.
take a nap in the middle.
Try?
I don't know.
Ella, did you want to try?
No, I'm not ready for that.
Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time. And this time I want you to think it and like silently kind of say it in your head.
Go slowly, please.
I will. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim. On my phone, hold on.
You go over the quiz.
Oh, there it is.
Did we go over the quiz, by the way? Okay.
Yes, we did. We did. I'll give you the answer again. All
answers.
right, let me go. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochtecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotapot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Ta-da! You know, when I get to the end of a Torah reading, when I hear da-da-da-da-da-da tomorrow, then I go, oh, okay, now breathe.
So Carol, you know, just want to mention this to you before we end. You want to get with me about arranging to do
here's what I think. Those of you who get accepted to the intermediate class and want to try it, go right ahead, because they may do things we haven't done, and another teacher, another voice, another technique, always good. For those who wanted advanced beginner level 2 and don't feel comfortable to go into an intermediate class, or want to stay together as a group, or are on the waiting list, you shouldn't go in the beginners group, first of all. In September, they're going to start a class. You'll pull your hair out of your head. It's going to be B, A, Ba, B, U, Boo, B, E, B. You're going to go, ah! If you want to go into the advanced beginner in the spring, when they, form up new classes and take new people, that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for you to go into beginner class. I think you'll backslide, because you know why? Why I say that? You'll hear a lot of mistakes.
Carol, they ask you when you fill out the registration form, they ask you what classes you've taken.
Okay.
So when I put down that I've taken beginner and advanced beginner and I was accepted, it goes into the intermediate.
Right, because if you say that, they're not going to put you in with the beginners because you know more than the beginners. They're going to show them up, because you'll feel impatient. They'll go, oh yeah, I could read this line, and they're going to go, wait, I don't know the next letter. Is that an ayin? What is that? So I don't think that's a good idea to take the beginners. I said either intermediate or we'll have a class. I would say if they're saying that the class is starting at 1:30, then to accommodate people in California, we said that if we started at, 12 o'clock, that would make it 9 o'clock for them. That would be reasonable. That if we had from 12 to 1, and then I had in between a little break that I can grab lunch from 1 to 1:30 and start at my beginner class at 1:30 to 2:30, that makes sense. And
What
we could
day
do
is
it
that?
at 12.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're making this an hour earlier than it is?
No, it's
Well,
just time.
I'm saying that I have already said that I would do a class for them at 1:30, the beginner class.
We can't do a class with Carol at 1:30 because she's
right.
already
I'm already
committed.
pledged. They asked me during the year, could I do a beginner class? And I said, yes, I would do a beginner class. So that's going to be
Friday,
J1.
and that's on
They're making
Friday.
it Friday at 1:30. I'm saying Friday, if you want to get together and keep as a group, and from where we are, just like we did today, go over stuff that we want to really learn and learn new stuff, which is the way I would do it. You link. When you're teaching, you link. You start with something that you know, you have mastery. Then you go on to the next thing and you have mastery. And then you go on to the new thing. I would go over some of the things that are important that you need review to be fluent. So we could do it at 12 o'clock, and that would suit me and probably suit people from California.
12 o'clock Eastern time.
12 o'clock
Eastern time, which is 9
Which is an
a.m.
hour earlier, which is an hour earlier than we do it now.
Right, that accommodates people in California, so they get on at 9 o'clock instead of, really getting up at 8 o'clock and starting with Hebrew, smack in the face with that. So
Carol, would you need to use my Zoom to do it?
I don't have a
I have no problem with it. Yeah, I can accommodate up to 100 people.
Yeah, okay, if you could do the Zoom, use your Zoom. Then
and I'll use the same Zoom that I use for Tuesday Hebrew classes. And let me make a note of this. And
then I would say we would start maybe the first Friday in October, because September is going to be crazy.
Yeah, let's start first Friday in October.
On Yom Kippur, and readings on Rosh Hashanah, and then I have the Jonah thing to deal with, and they're always nabbing me for holidays.
So let me just get this down. The first Friday in October. Friday is October. No, I'm looking at the calendar. Friday is October 1st is the first Friday in October. Do you want to start then, or do you want to start on the 8th? I have my calendar open.
Let me take a quick look. Let me just look.
I was looking at last year's calendar, sorry.
Yeah, October 1st is, I know because I'm doing a program the night before on Morocco.
Yeah. Yes, October 1st is the first.
Yeah, you know what? I have to start I don't know when I'm starting. I think October 8th is better for me. I'll have to take my sukkah down. Yeah, October 8th would be good. And
that would be at 12 that would be 12 o'clock Eastern time.
Right. And so, what I would ask from all of you is the following, and then that gives me a chance, because I want to try a story with you guys. I want to try like a Sukkot story or whatever. That gives me a chance to take my sukkah down, because Sukkot is like the week before, which I hate taking it down, but I'll have to do it. And the holiday is over.
Carol,
so that would work.
Do you want me to send out an announcement to everybody that's, even if they're not here, who's been registered for this class? Because some people couldn't make it today. Send out an email to everybody who's registered
those who
that would be nice.
With the Zoom link, and the Zoom link.
Perfect.
The Zoom link is the Tuesday Zoom that I do. So I'm going to use the same Zoom link for all classes, whether you come to practice on Tuesday or we go on Friday. And I'll be honest, even though I was accepted for the intermediate, I still want to continue with this group, which gives me more practice. Hey, listen, I go Friday night and every Saturday morning because I need to practice.
So, Helene, what you can do is when you go into intermediate, if they're covering something, which you want me to teach,
absolutely, then
I would be glad to.
I mean, the thing that I found most daunting of prayers that I don't know are the Haftorah blessings.
Oh,
well, my rabbi keeps saying to me, "So when are you going to do a Haftorah?" And I'm going, I'm struggling.
Do you know the trope? Do you know Haftorah trope? It's different from Torah trope.
Yeah, I know nothing. I know nothing at all.
The blessings,
that's something that goes, you know,
If
something
you
that's
get
more
a
family.
recording, maybe the rabbi, the cantor can make your recording of the blessings. And then I'm telling you, just go over and over and
Oh,
over.
I'll
and over.
just
It
go
doesn't
over
matter
it.
if you know
Oh.
what it means.
There's a lot of
There's
great,
just two.
yeah.
The one in the beginning is very short.
By the way, just to let everyone, I have to ask her, on Tuesday, the president of our sisterhood, Helene Norman, has been coming on to Tuesday practices, even though she was a Rebbitzin. He just passed away, blessed memory, Rabbi Kane. When she was going to do the Ashrei, even though she still struggled, so she sent me a recording that he did to help her learn it. And
Nice.
it's beautiful. I'm going to ask her for permission to share it.
Yes.
It's just this, you know, music, just a sound recording, but it's very slow, very distinct, and it
Very
really
nice.
does help, because Ashrei is,
That would be good.
yeah, Ashrei is
Yeah.
still a challenge, I think, for all of us.
So
I'm saying,
anything that needs more practice, you know, if you're in the intermediate class and you're struggling with it, you could bring it to us and then we could go over it together because everybody could benefit from it. But I can make it my own curriculum. Yes,
Right.
Elaine.
I think that the intermediate class starts at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that means we could come onto your class at 9 o'clock and then still try the intermediate as an extra practice.
Right, exactly.
Unless we can't keep up with. I
Wait.
don't mean on a regular basis. I just mean at the beginning when it starts.
Okay, so what? That's at 10:30. Is it Eastern?
I think
or?
it starts at 10:30 on Friday, Pacific time, which would be 1:30 your time.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, good. And
I think it should also start in September sometime, not in
September
October.
Yeah, I think
17th.
it does.
It's Friday, September 17th.
I say that if you're registered for that, you should try it. You should always try to push yourself. If and you find that that's good and you don't have time to take the two classes, and stick with that, the intermediate.
And
okay?
I'll still commit to the two classes, because I want, not just I need as much practice as possible, but I also want to hang out with my friends. And just to let people know, when I know that you know, you may have the same email, the same registration, not registration, the link for every Zoom. When I send out on Tuesday, usually I send it out on Monday night, I'll send out practices Tuesday. I always put the link in again, because I know that people can't find it.
That's a good.
I always put in the link again because people can't find it. They don't remember to write it down. I mean, I have a thing that I have that right by my computer. With
I have
all
a
the links on
doctor's
it.
So
appointment.
anyway, so that works out.
And I have to leave. Goodbye,
Okay,
everyone.
goodbye.
Bye.
Shabbat
So,
shalom.
so Helene, that works out. People who are taking the intermediate could go 10:30 to 11:30, and then oh wait, what time did we say we were going to do it?
It's 1:30 East Coast time.
1:30 Eastern.
Which is
1:30 Eastern.
Yeah, 1:30 Eastern time, which is 10:30.
You said that
1:30
you were gonna
minus
do it
3
at-
hours is West Coast 10:30.
Okay, so that would be
You-
10:30 to 11:30, and then you could still come in.
You
at
said we were
12
going to do it at 12 East.
Eastern.
Yeah, 12.
Right,
Well,
right.
9 o'clock.
But
9
Which
o'clock.
would be 9.
their class is scheduled at 1:30. Okay, that's it. That's Women's League is at 1:30 for intermediate. If we do ours from 12 to 1, okay,
Right.
then people who, Eastern time, so then people who want to do both classes, if they got accepted to intermediate,
Yeah.
can do both classes.
It's
They
like
do
I'm
one-
doing back to back.
They do
I would
12
teach
to
this
1.
one 12 to 1, and then the other one 1:30 to 2:30.
Then Gay Pishin and whatever. And then at 1:30, they have an intermediate, the official class. The other
Right.
thing, and you should pass this on to all their sisterhood members, as we discussed at the board meeting, is all of the classes are available on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and you could go in to look at things and practice,
Yeah.
see what they're doing. And I know people who are more like intermediate and they're going in. So
I'm sorry, I have to go, everybody.
yeah.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
And I
I'll
want
send
to
everybody out an
Shalom.
email. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Helene
Shabbat Shalom.
did a fantastic job for our sisterhood, and I just want
Thank
to
you.
let
It
everybody
was
know that it was a
great.
fantastic presentation, and thank you so much. We had a lot of
Now
people.
you know all about my family.
Yes.
Oh, did you do the one about the gangsters?
Yeah.
I'm the gangster. I do that a lot. I gotta tell you, when I'm doing one for Florida Atlantic University, and I love this. It's $300 for like an hour presentation.
Nice.
Can't beat that. But when it comes to any Jewish organization, I never charge. I
That's
never
nice.
charge Jewish organizations. So
You're a tzedekah.
it's fun. It's fun. And it also gives me, it's my way of giving back. That's
Very
my way
nice.
of giving back.
That's
So
that's wonderful, Helene.
great stuff. Lots of fun.
You're a git in the shema.
And you learn about my grandfather, whose father, Shia, that I'm named after, my great grandfather. He sat and he davened every day praying for work. Okay. And this poor man had to go out, the kid had to go out and support his family. So anyway.
I was told I can't get into any classes. I'm on the waiting list. I mean, within one day, I got an email that said they're all.
It closed in a matter of hours.
I think
it closed in a matter of hours.
Like a Billy Joel concert.
Because
Yes.
the first time that they're doing this is something new. This does not have precedence.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and the
very
word of mouth
popular.
has been incredible. The word of mouth on this is.
And I don't know how many we have, like about 5 teachers. And so how many students? So that 5 times, let's say 15, and that gets out.
Do you know how much we would increase participation in conservative Judaism if we offered the parents, and not necessarily mother, of Hebrew school students, of kids, they want their kids to have their name. If we offered them Hebrew classes and they felt more comfortable, and that's why I went to Reform originally. I was Reformed for decades because I was Hebrew
I think
literate.
you have a good point. Yeah,
I think it would really make people, even if they knew how to do, the Torah blessing, something simple, simple things, they would feel so much more comfortable in the synagogue than sitting here looking for Adonai on the page. That's all you knew. And
I think it's right. I think that's a very good point. So that people are, once they get involved in the class, they're saying, no, now I'm going to services. I've heard this. We talked about it. I can read some of this. It clicks a little.
Yeah. And I'm on the rotation now for Elias. I'm the Bat Levi. So I'm on the rotation every 2 weeks. I'm getting one.
Here,
and my
you have to start practicing.
My birthday's coming up. Oh, I got that one done. But my birthday is September 11th, so I'll get one for that. That's not an awful birthday. So anyway, thank you,
next
everyone.
Next week is our last summer one, so we have some plans, and I think that makes a lot of sense. In October 8th.
October 8th, and it's going to be at noon, high noon. High noon. I'll make it on high noon.
High noon. I think you said you can't come next week.
I am. I changed it. I can't miss you guys. You're more important. Sorry. You are. You're honest. It's like friends. And Robin and I knew each other.
I like friends.
Yeah, Robin and I knew each other before. We're on the board together. But it's an expansion.
So we do have a meeting next week or no?
Yes.
Okay, because you just said this was our
last. I couldn't make it. I always couldn't make it, but I'm coming.
Helene had something else. Yes, next week, same time, 1 o'clock, we'll do our thing. And what I was going to say is, if there's any last requests for next week, okay, and anyone who wanted to translate that little story, I'll just go over what it means.
Because I struggled with that.
I'll go over that.
I thought I couldn't find it, so if you could send it again.
I can.
I had it and I did it, but it was months ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
Probably the beginning of the summer, probably in July.
I'll
find it.
Okay. I need the answers to the quiz.
Okay, you want the answers to the quiz?
Okay.
Okay, it was 2, 6, 1, 3, 7, 4, 8, 5.
Okay, I got the ones right that I thought I got right.
And the difference
7, 8, and 5 were my.
And the difference between this class and just learning Aleph Bet is there are people there that go 100 miles an hour in shul and have absolutely no idea what they're saying unless they look at the translations, which aren't always correct. We at least, by learning the roots of words, we're getting at least the gist of things. And
Yeah.
hopefully as time goes on, we'll learn more. So it's, and we're learning to read faster. I mean, we're learning to follow the cantor, except when she goes at 100 miles an hour. But on the
100
whole,
miles an hour, nobody can follow.
Shabbat
All right, ladies.
shalom.
Have a
Shabbat
wonderful
shalom.
Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom,
Thank you.
everyone.
Shabbat
Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.